superfoods, and I suggest that y'all really start incorporating this in y'all daily diets, like ASAP. Starting tomorrow, when you wake up in the rising and you do your H3O2 hydration or your H2O spring water electrolytes, once that sun be the highest in the sky between 12 and 3, that's when you get your first meal in. I suggest that this should be a major part of your plate, family. So y'all climb on in, climb on in, climb on in. How y'all feeling? Peace, gods. Peace, goddesses and earths. Shalom, shalom, lacha. Yapa, mishpati. My beautiful family. How y'all doing? When y'all in and y'all got some pens and y'all got some pads, you already know. Type in some nines and we'll get it started. I want to show y'all some chemicals inside of y'all foods that we cannot avoid. It's essential that we eat these bioflavonoids. It's essential that we eat these, phytochemicals, or what we'll call phytonutrients or biophotons, these light code frequencies in these foods, because as I was talking to y'all about yesterday, we are electrical beings. So the more we get minerals in us, the more we get simple amino acid structures, and the more we get monosaccharides, or what we call simple sugars in us, that create a conduit for electricity can flow properly with ease. Now energy can flow properly with ease, but the moment we start blocking up energy, we are at dis-ease. So the whole thing is to open up the meridian pathways, to open up all the detoxification channels or the sewer system channels in our bodies, whether we're talking about meridian pathways, whether you're talking about the NRF2 pathway, or whether you're talking about the lymphatic vessel pathway. Long as these pathways are opened up and we are able to get metabolic waste, which creates metabolic acidosis out of the body, our body will actually maintain a balance of what I call my eye, or what the allopathic community calls homeostasis. But in order for us to do that, we have to constantly be detoxifying what we metabolize. And that is our issue. And that's the reason why we constipated cellularly. And that's the reason why we sick. Because we're eating food that doesn't help us eliminate. You're supposed to truly, truly eat to eliminate. If you truly look where most of your nutrition come from, because nutrition is a very misunderstood word anyway. Misunderstood, misoverstood, and misunderstood. It's a two-folded definition to it. Nutrition is food that's supposed to create elimination pathways inside of your body. Phytonutrients is something different from real nutrition. Phytonutrients is basically compounds and different elements you breathe in through drawing in breath that's going to help you maintain and rebuild the molecular structure. So when you eat a food, you're supposed to be looking at your food like, okay, how long would this food take to digest in my system? How long would this food take to break down in my system? Will this food provide me energy? And is this energy going to be used to turn on glutathione, glutathione? Is it going to be used to turn on the NRF2 pathway? Is it going to kick the thyroid gland to turn on tryptophan? Is tyrosine going to turn on for my body can start purging everything that it just went through? Because whenever you put something in your mouth and you chew it, the moment that it hit the hydrochloric acid in your stomach and it goes to the small non-inch intestinal tract that we call the duodenum or the duodenum, once it picks up all of that nutrients, the metabolic process starts on a cellular level. So you have to realize whenever you utilize energy or wherever you use any type of energy, there's a byproduct or a blowback that comes from it. Usually it's a cationic blowback, or sometimes you get an anionic blowback. We notice that most of the cationic blowbacks are acidic in nature, and we see that most of the anionic blowbacks become alkaline forming. So we have to understand that our body is already made of a lot of acids. You have DNA, which stands for deoxyribose nucleic acid. Your DNA is made of what you will call amino acid structures or amino acid groups that we call protein. So you got DNA, which is deoxyribose nucleic acid. You have amino acids, which is a bunch of other acids. And then your body is actually acidic in functioning in form. So when your body is going through all these different metabolic processes through the system, when you eating and drinking food, it's acidic, just like the hydrochloric acid in your stomach help you break down your food. So there is not one function in your body other than the first alkaline breakdown in your mouth, which is amylose and amylase, that is an actual alkaline secretion. Your blood is alkaline, cholesterol is alkaline, the mucosal membrane is alkaline, the lymphatic system is alkaline. And then you got alkaline enzymic secretions in your mouth. Other than that, family, everything else in your body is acidic. You see that? So if everything else in your body is acidic, which is the building blocks, or what they call the amino acids that create proteins that build your tissues, that's acidic. You see what I'm saying? When you actually look at exosomes and lysosomes, this represents the actual digestive system of each individual cell. That's acidic because the exosome creates the lysosomes. The lysosomes have this type of liquid secretion inside of it to help you break down the food that your cell is actually eating. When you're going through something called cellular respiration and oxygen is being turned into this water molecule and then turned into carbon dioxide, this is an acidic process. So we see that all the major functionings inside of our bodies that keep us in a balance of homeostasis is acid-based, family. It's acid. It's acidic. So if we know that our body is already naturally acidic, and the only reason why the doctors and the allopathic community teaches us that our body is alkaline is because the two major fluid, or what they call interstitial fluid in our body, is actually alkaline. Truly, your body is more acidic than it is alkaline, and your body actually have a functioning acidic functioning than it does alkaline. So since we know that, that means we need to be eating food that is truly alkaline forming all the time. We should never take a break from eating alkaline forming food. We shouldn't play around with it because we already know that all these acidic mediums is happening in our body on the natural occurrence every day. So the only way we can combat that is make sure that we eating food that's eliminative. We got to eat food that we know for a fact is going to open up the meridian pathways, open up the lymphatic system, open up the kidneys, open up the skin to get all this metabolic acidosis out of our body. If not, it's going to eat us alive, family. It's going to eat us alive. So I want to show y'all these 3 superfoods that's going to do exactly that. And you don't have to just incorporate this every day. Just start with a small little section on your plate every day and start doing this. All right. And then it's gonna make a lot of sense, y'all. So if y'all ready to get started, type in some 9s. And of course, it's gonna be fruits, y'all. Of course, y'all already know, but do y'all know what fruits? And we're gonna break this down, y'all. Let me show y'all the actual chemical composition. And I actually do got a few questions that a few people want me to read. So at the end of this, I'm gonna read some questions that I got through my DM. These are questions actually from my DM on Instagram. So let's get to it. Type in some 9s and we're gonna get to work, y'all. We're gonna get to work. So I'm gonna tell y'all the fruits first, and then we're gonna break down the science on why these fruits are so amazing. Matter of fact, no, I'm gonna tell y'all the fruits later. I ain't gonna even, yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all the fruits later. Before we do that, let's actually talk about why I'm even bringing this up in the first place. So hold on, family. Let me get this ready for y'all. I was going to go live on my YouTube and do it on my YouTube, but Instagram been showing me so much love lately, all of y'all, all of the followers. So I'm like, look, let me go and do exclusive real quick. All right, so this is a piece of one of my many lectures that I do at the universities, the HBCUs university. I'm going to just give y'all a piece of this, and I want to show you how you can literally stop aging so fast, because we know that people do not die of old age. That's a bunch of crock. You don't die of old age. You die of dis-ease. You die of oxidative stress. You die of heart failure. You die of kidney failure. You die of pancreas obstructions. You die of obstructive prolapse colons and bowel walls. We die of dis-ease because our energy is not flowing properly, meaning your aging process is a dis-ease. So literally aging, y'all can look this up. We can look up the government articles and everything if you don't believe me. Aging is a dis-ease, family. And that's how you know that time is really an illusion. And when you buy into that illusion, the biology of belief. Y'all look up Dr. Bruce Lipton. He talk about this all the time. He have a book called The Biology of Belief. And he showed scientific proof and evidence that if you believe something, it will actually change your genes and it'll change the way that your cells interact with the environment. So if you believe that you get older every year, you're going to start showing that in manifesting that in the physical plane, y'all. So we have to really change our belief. And that's the reason why we have to look at disease differently. We have been taught disease in the wrong way, family. And that's why when you get a disease, you automatically think it's a death sentence when it's not. Diseases are nothing but your body having a magnificent miracle way of trying to detoxify and heal itself. These come sometimes with pain. The symptomology from this pain is what the allopathic community actually call pathology and call diseases. But it's actually the body trying to rid itself of all of the systemic blowback and toxemia that the body has been building up just by living its everyday life and going through its everyday cycle and metabolic processes, family. Straight up. So check this out. That's right. I am aging backwards. I love that. So if you see what I'm saying, we are actually looking at a screen. Y'all know I'm in my studio. We looking at a screen and we see this Aboriginal American man, melanated, fully melanated, and you see a lot of different types of sequences, or what you would call DNA codes, across his face. And like I tell everybody when I go to the colleges and do my lectures, you know, you might see a dark-skinned brother, but when I look at you and I'm reading your face and I'm reading your eyes and I'm doing my iridology reading, I'm looking at the DNA, I'm looking at the code. So when you go into this code, let me show you how this works. So we have something called chromosomes. And what a chromosome is an entire chain of DNA along with a group that stabilize in proteins. So when you think about DNA, remember that I said DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is literally the blueprint to the cells. You have a DNA for your nose, you have DNA to make up your eyes, you have DNA to make up your fingernails, you have DNA to make up your pigmentation, you have DNA and genes that tell you the color of your eyes, how short you're going to be, how tall you're going to be. All of this is genes. These genes are wrapped up in what you would call strings or strands. These strands are wrapped up and combined in proteins. These proteins, when they combine themselves into a structure, we call it DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. And the crazy part about it, when you break down DNA, like I broke down yesterday for y'all, DNA is made of amino acids, but it's stuck together by what you would call minerals. And then these minerals stick these amino acids together. And guess what the backbone of the DNA is? Sugar, showing you the three essential things we need to live a life of homeostasis. We need sugar. Sugar is carbon. Carbon is actually alkaline. Carbon is alkaline, family. You see that? Now, if they bleach it and turn the sugar into bleach white flour, bleach white sugar, and oxidize it and stuff like that, of course, it's going to have an acidic nature to it. But sugar is alkaline. Carbon is alkaline. Sugar, carbon, and melanin are the same things. Then you have amino acids that makes up the DNA. That is acidic. Then you have minerals. These minerals are mixed with cations and anions, meaning you have alkaline minerals and you actually have mucus acidic forming minerals as well. So we see that the body is always balanced. It's a mixture between acidity and it's a mixture between alkaline. All right. Now check out all of this stuff right here. So we see that the body make chromosomes. These chromosomes is DNA. So DNA is wrapped around these chromosomes, y'all. DNA is wrapped around these chromosomes. All right. Now, when you unravel a chromosome, you start seeing something called histines. And these are histines right here. And you see the information is being unraveled, right? And then you have timelines or time capsules within inside of the DNA that's packed with more information called histines. Okay. So we see that this is the chromosome. The chromosome is being unraveled. The histine is being revealed. We see Jacob's ladder. This is a ladder. And this is what the Melachim in Hebrew, they call them angels or angles of light, or what we're going to call the messenger, the mRNA, or what you would literally call melanin neurotransmitters that actually go up and down this ladder and communicate with the DNA strand. Remember, I always tell you that the Bible is always talking about you. You see that? Now, let's talk about a histone. So it says a histone is a protein that provides structural support for a chromosome. Each chromosome contains a long molecule of DNA. So the DNA must wrap around the histone to have a support system. And there's a reason why I'm going through all of this first before I show you how magnificent these three superfoods is, family, which must fit in the cell nucleus. Now, the nucleus means the new sun. Everybody been teaching us since kindergarten that the nucleus of a cell is the actual brain of the cell, but we found out that that's a complete lie. If you are certified biochemistry, if you in biology and you messing with cells in these petri dishes, you know that the actual membrane around the cell, the protective mucosa membrane around the cell, which is nothing but cholesterol, that is the actual brain of the cells, because that's what actually interacts with the environment, and that's what takes on the signals or receptors. And whatever take on the signals and receptors and tell the cells what to do is the brain. See that? So the nucleus of the cell, where the genes and where the DNA at, don't tell the cells anything about what to do. It just holds the blueprint of how the cell's supposed to be. Okay, this is an eye cell. So when you look at the nucleus of the cell, they act as the gonads, or what you would call the nuts of the cell. Inside the cell, you got the semen. They call it the DNA. But the brain is the actual capsulated part around the cell. And it's important while we talk about this, because your food must speak to the cellular membrane. Your food must speak to the DNA. And we're eating foods that's not doing none of that. We just eating foods because it tastes good. We have to understand that the food we eat must actually interact with the cells of our body, tell our cells to do A, B, C, or D, showing you that food is true information. Y'all see that? Let me turn it back around. Now check out how powerful the DNA is. It says deoxyribonucleic acid is a self-replicating material. Notice what it is. It's a self-replicating material, which is present in nearly all living organisms as a main constituent of chromosomes. All right, it is the carrier of genetic information. So the first thing your DNA do, it carries genetic information. Not only does it that, it has instructions in it used for growth and development, functioning, and reproduction. So that's why when you see a cell die off, what happens is the RNA or the ribosome will take a photograph picture of DNA, then it will shoot it to the cell, to the cellular membrane, and then you get a new birth from a cell out of that, showing you that the membrane of the cell is actually the brain, but the gonads, or what you would call the nutsack of the cell, is the nucleus. It says if you took the DNA from all the cells in your body and you lined it up end to end, it will form a strand 6,000 million miles long. This is how much information you have inside of you, family, but very, very thin. To store this information material, DNA molecules are tightly packed around amino acid compounds called proteins. See that? These histines can make structures called chromosomes. So this is how much information, and this is where you get something called the Akashic records from. You know, a lot of people talk about the Akashic records, and the Akashic records is basically an infinite intelligent library within inside of your DNA that they label junk DNA. But if you activate it through breath work, if you activate it through fruit fasting, if you activate it through stimulating your pineal gland, if you activate it to ADP peroxidase, and just doing all things to fire off your cells real fast, you can actually open up this cosmic library, and all information will be available to you at the snap of a finger. Meaning every language already exists inside of your DNA. You just haven't unraveled that DNA and tapped into it yet. Every event that ever happened in existence, the past, the future, and the present, because it's only really the present now. All of this information is already in you. See what the prophets do, and that's why they say, oh, you got a gift of prophecy. Now, you do have a gift of prophecy, but you have the ability to tap in the sequence of your genes and your DNA to open up the Akashic records, or what you will call the actual Akashic library, to go to a specific timeline and recall an event. That's prophecy. All this is within us, y'all. We are the gods and goddesses of this realm, and I can't speak that enough. And we see this right now. Now, look, check this out. It says 1.5 gigabytes times 100 trillion cells, 150 trillion gigabytes, or 150 times 10, 12 times 9 bytes of zettabytes. So you have 150 zettabytes in your body. Do y'all understand how much information that is that's inside of you? You literally are a walking simulation, or a walking computer that holds millions and millions and millions and millions of hard drives of information. That's why knowledge is power, because you get true power when you unlock it. What if I tell you that there's 3 superfoods that can help you do that? And this is not about money. If it was about money, I would say it was the 3 herbs and bodies herbs for me. I'm not even talking about herbs. I'm talking about 3 superfoods that I don't produce or that I don't make. You can go buy them from the store. You can pick them from your garden, or you can go to your local farmer's market to get it. This is just free information to stimulate the minds of my people. That's all this is. You see what I'm saying? So it behooves us to really, really listen to this information, family. Check this out. All right. It says DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. The instructions within the DNA of a single cell, if written out, would fill 1,600-page books. You are the book. You are the living word of God. You see that? If you activate the Christ consciousness within you, each cell is a world brimming with as many as 200 trillion tiny groups of atoms called molecules. It says all 46 human chromosome threads linked together would measure more than 6 feet. Yet the cell nucleus that contains them is less than 10,000ths of an inch in diameter. See that? So even though you got these small bodies, it's packed with so much information showing you the true living word of God. We got to talk about it. We got to talk. I want to talk about something that's very, very, very important to me, because remember, we're talking about chromosomes, we're talking about DNA, and at the tips of these chromosomes, you have something that's very important. And this is one of the people who found this out and figured it out. It's other people, like when you get to the ancient Mayans, and when you get into the ancient Egyptians, or what you would call the Kemet priests, when you get to the Kohanim, or the priests in Hebrew, you go back to ancient Lemuria, Sumeria, and Atlantis, they figured it out too, but he figured it out with, new technology, and we got to get deeper into the DNA, into the cells. His name is Dean Ornish, and he's an American physician, right? Now check this out. So what he figured out was that at the tip of each chromosome, you have something called telomeres. And these telomeres actually is how you live your life longer. These telomeres predict your lifestyle. These telomeres tell you when you aging, and they tell you if you subjected to cancer or not. Now remember, you have these amino acid structures that actually create something called the DNA. The DNA then wraps around something called histines. These histines are tightly compacted into chromosomes, and at the tip of the chromosomes, you have something called telomeres. Now I'm gonna show you what these telomeres do, because if we can find out how to not unravel them, we will stay alive longer, and we will stay healthy longer. Like longevity will really come into our life. And it's 3 superfoods that will help you keep the telomeres tightly compacted around the chromosome, which is going to keep your DNA tightly inside the histines of the chromosomes. See, what's happening is your DNA is unraveling. That's the reason why your energy is not flowing properly, because you're leaking minerals, and minerals is the conductivity or the conduit of electricity inside of the DNA strand. We are lessening our frequencies and our hertz because we're eating low frequency food. We're in low frequency relationships. We're listening to low frequency music. We having low frequency sex. We entertaining low frequency people. We drinking low frequency liquids. See that? Everything that we need to do need to be highly electrical, highly alkaline. Because that's what fuels your consciousness. Your consciousness is fueled by electricities, atoms. Yes, electrons, protons, neutrons, quantum. We talking about quantum science here. All these things is what fuels your consciousness. So if we can keep our consciousness fueled by highly intelligent, energetic foods, highly intelligent, energetic people, highly intelligent, energetic, structured H3O2 water, highly intelligent, energetic sex, highly intelligent, energetic conversations and music, these things will stimulate the consciousness and keep the consciousness actually going through its evolutionary process at a balance of homeostasis. Not only that, it will help you expand your consciousness. And now you can manifest the things you want, and you don't have to keep coming back in this reincarnated cycle, y'all. We're going to keep doing this until we actually learn what we need to learn for we can go to the next level. I've been here for about 9,000 years. I'm tired of being here. I'm ready to elevate and go visit another dimension of density. It's time for me to graduate from this university. You see that? I thought a university was a college. Why is this called a university or the universe? Huh? The galactic intelligence. Is we in school? All I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Now check this out, fam, because it gets deep. I know y'all like, Yaki, just tell us the 3 foods. Nope. Y'all gonna learn this first. Now check this out. Analysis of telomere. It says length of the telomerase activity in a tree species of various lifespans and with the age of the Bristol cone pine. So look, they looked at the pine tree, and one person cut the pine tree because it was so old. It was thousands of years old. And what he noticed was it was rings inside of this tree. So what they did was, of course, what they do all the time, they scraped a little piece off of it, put it under an electronic thermal microscope, and they noticed that these rings were attached to chromosomes and DNA. And they found out that these chromosomes had shoestrings around them called telomeres. And they noticed when the shoestring around the actual chromosome start unraveling itself, oxidative stress started coming in and the tree started dying. So this is where this whole hypothesis turned facts came from. Them studying trees. And that's why I tell y'all all the time that your true classroom is what, family? Nature. It's not a man. It's not a book. Your true classroom is nature. Go into nature. Let nature be your mirror, for you can look at your perfect self because you mirror nature, and then you will be able to see the true God in you, because the reflection of the divine creator is nature in you, because you are a part of nature. Yes, you are a part of nature, family. Check this out. Now, so now we get into the chromosome. Remember, this is the chromosome body or the chromosome skeleton. Notice that the DNA, the deoxyribose nucleic acid, is within inside of the structural skeleton of the actual chromosome. Look at the tip. These yellow tips is called telomeres or telomers, right? Now, notice how they're compacted like shoestring caps, all right? Now, if you look at some shoes right now, matter of fact, I got one. Let me just take my shoe off. Y'all better not be talking smack. All right, now check this out. So look, here go. This is my actual shoe. I know this is nasty, y'all. I'm gonna get my shoe off here in a minute. Look at the shoestrings or the DNA. What is holding the actual DNA together? The shoestrings together. These shoestring caps. That's the same thing that telomers do to the DNA. This is the actual shoestring with the information, and then the telomers are the cap of the shoestrings. Now, if I was to take this cap off, y'all, what would happen to my shoestrings? Wouldn't they start unraveling? Notice how beautifully braided this shoestring is. The moment that I take the shoestring cap off, this beautifully braided shoestring is going to start unraveling. That's the same thing that happens to your DNA when the telomere caps come from up off of your DNA. All right, now, guess what makes this cap come off, y'all? Eating bad food, eating acidic forming foods, smoking. You see that? Drinking alcohol, not mindful breathing throughout the day, and not eating these 3 superfoods that we're going to talk about. All right. Now, it says what we lose with age. So this just show you this. Remember, this is the chromosome. Inside the chromosome is the DNA. These little black spots is the telomeres. These are the shoestring caps that keep the DNA from unraveling. The whole thing is to protect the deoxyribose nucleic acid, y'all. Remember, that is your library. Now, you see, when cells go through they cell divided or they go through something called mitosis or meiosis or cellular apoptosis, you notice you start losing the telomeres. See that? Telomeres end caps that protect the chromosome. Let me say that again. Telomeres end caps that protects the chromosome. Now look, check this out. Telomeres shorten and eventually cell division stops. So every time you age or every time you do things to age yourself, you start wearing and tearing the telomeres from the actual chromosome, which will eventually unravel and damage the DNA. Oh, wait. We got to talk about it, family. We got to talk about it. Aging process. Telomeres shorten with age. Look at these beautiful telomeres. Look at all the information, the Akashic library, tightly compacted. Then you get older and older because you're aging because the foods you're eating. You aging because the air pollutants. You aging because the 1%ers in the government is literally killing us through biochemical weaponized warfare, through, laboratory created STDs, to all these different things, tainting our water. Y'all see what just happened in Ohio, how their train derailed, and then all of a sudden all of these biohazard chemicals is all in our skies and pollutants is all in the water. And then y'all see what happened today at the nuclear complex in Tennessee. Did y'all peep what happened today at the nuclear complex in Tennessee? All of a sudden it caught on fire. Then I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, which one of the biggest nuclear reactors is in dang, Kawhi, what is that called? Over there by the casino. Earth City, Missouri, 20 minutes away from here, is one of the biggest unstable nuclear reactors in the world, y'all. In my state. So look, is that gonna blow up next? Because all of a sudden we see strategically all around the United States, all of the nuclear reactors are blowing up. All the biohazardous chemicals are derailing and spilling. All is spilling in the oceans. Oh, we had the biggest metric tons of oil spilled in the ocean because a ship went down, because the engine failed. You start to look, you like, man, this look like this shit is actually being planned out and y'all are purposely doing this shit. And then now you got to really start asking yourself, why is the rich building and the wealthy building all these bunkers? Why are gas masks actually at an all-time high? Yes, gas masks. They are tripling the prices because the rich and the wealthy are buying them off the shelves. Why you can't find ammunition nowhere? What is really going on and what are they planning for us? I'm just saying. Now, here go the actual Bristol cone pine forest tree that I was telling you about. This taught us so much about our molecular structure. Is crazy. And this was what is going to bring me to the point of talking about these 3 foods that I'm going to be talking about. All right, now we see that the DNA, now remember, this is the DNA structure. This is what you'll call a sugar backbone. All right, so this is what is made of a pentose, a 5 backbone sugar phosphate. All right, so when people talk bad about sugar, sugar is bad. No, processed sugar is bad. Sugar is essential for your cells. Sugar is carbon. Without sugar, you would die. Sugar is melanin. And your sugar is what holds your actual amino acids together with minerals. So you got the sugar, then you have the amino acids, or what you would call proteins. And you see the little fingers? This is minerals like zinc, like selenium, like copper, like gold, like calcium triphosphate, holding all of the amino acid structures together. This then wraps around, these nucleotides wrap around a histone, and then they actually get compacted in strings called a chromosome. And guess what cap them off, family? Your telomeres. Your telomeres. All right, let's keep it going, because I want to show y'all. Now, this is the last part before I start getting into what I was talking about here. Now, what holds this amino acids together is what you would call minerals. You see, you got calcium, you got zinc, you got magnesium, you got sodium bicarbonate, you got selenium, you got iron, you got all of the, you got phosphorus. All these things is actually what holds the DNA molecule of the DNA structure together, showing you that you're supposed to be eating mineral dense foods. That's why it's very, very important to have minerals and to have nucleotides and to have amino acids inside of your foods, family, not these processed foods where they actually process all these things out, because you're eating nothing, and then you're eating nothing but the processed blowback of them. They straight acidic going in and acidic going out. This will kill your telomeres. This will murder and damage your DNA. All right. And I think we're going to leave it right there. Matter of fact, I'll go to this one right here and show y'all. So now, and I showed y'all in this in one of my lectures. So notice this beautifully packed DNA. Look at the man. Y'all happy. Well, this actually look like a damn demon. But look, he looked like a happy demon, right? And he got all of his actual structures. The actual integrity of his DNA look flawless. Then all of a sudden, he start eating food that is missing minerals. Say calcium start missing. Say zinc start missing. Now the DNA structure have broke the telomeres off the chromosomes, so the DNA starts unraveling. This is where sickness and disease kick in at. Notice he didn't go on a diet. Notice he didn't start eating herbs. He didn't go on the detoxification or a fast. He didn't switch over into an all-fruit diet. He didn't go on a solid food vacation and start taking in H3O2 juice water. So since he didn't change his diet and he kept eating the processed foods that didn't have any phytonutrients or didn't have any amino acids in it, the cellular structure actually breaks in half. And this is what you would call cellular death. This is how you die, family. You die through aging, and aging is a disease. These are facts, family. These are straight up facts. Now, if y'all got that so far, type in some nines and we're going to go to the next part. Now it's time to start getting in this food. Y'all got that?
Man, run them likes up, man. Y'all make sure y'all run them likes up. Share this video, gang. And do everything he told you to do, gang. Start changing the way you eat. Start changing the way you walk, sleep, think. Start changing the way you consciously talk to yourself and believe yourself, gang. I love y'all. I am out.